the interpreter, or do you need time?
I don't have the interpreter, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Got a little bit, not much. Good, how are you? Much better. Oh, good. Back to normal.
All right, our interpreter just checked in.
Thank you. Introduction from our interpreter.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm here with the Community Language Cooperative. We're going to be practicing language simultaneous interpretation in English and in Spanish so that everybody can communicate in the language that they feel comfortable in. Once we turn on the interpretation, for those of you who are on Zoom, please make sure that you click the globe that is going to pop up at the bottom of your screen. Or if you're on your phone or tablet, you're going to see 3 little dots where it says more, and right there, you're going to be able to select your language. If you're fully bilingual in both English and in Spanish, you don't have to select either of the languages, and you can always speak in the language that you feel more comfortable in. I do remind everybody to speak at a conversational pace, especially during public comments, so that we can interpret everything correctly. Please remain muted and speak very close to your microphone when it's your turn to speak. Hola a todos, mi nombre es Andrea, estoy aquí con la Community Language Cooperative. Vamos a estar practicando la justicia del lenguaje en este espacio donde las personas pueden hablar y escuchar en el idioma en el que se sienten más cómodos, y tendremos interpretación simultánea en inglés y en español. Una vez que aprendamos la interpretación, vas a poder seleccionar tu idioma dándole clic al globo que va a aparecer en la parte de abajo de tu pantalla. Si estás en tu teléfono o en tu tableta, vas a poder hacerle clic a los 3 punticos donde dice More, y ahí vas a ver una opción que dice Language o lenguaje. Por favor, recuerden de hablar un paso conversacional cuando estén hablando para poder interpretar todo correctamente. And we can begin interpretation now.
Thank you, Andrea. I'll call this regular meeting of the Sheridan City Council to order for March 13th, 2023. Can we all check in online, please? All council members are present. We rise for the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we just are so grateful for the opportunity to once again gather as a community to help lead and guide the city of Sheridan. I ask for knowledge and wisdom for those of us behind the dais, and continued health and prosperity for the city, for the community, for all of the citizens that come and go. Ask for courage and patience and kindness to be bestowed upon all of our staff, the EMTs, the fire, the police, and the leaders of our community. We ask that you just, in this month of recognizing women, Lord, just a special blessing for women, for mothers and daughters and aunts and sisters. We recognize their power and their beauty and their contribution to this world. And we're just so grateful for the women in our lives. And all of these things I pray in his name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For our agenda tonight, I'm going to be changing public comment to 15 minutes. City Clerk, do you have any Other changes?
No changes, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. All right, next tonight we have staff reports. There's no comments from the audience. Thank you. City Clerk.
Yes, Madam Mayor, just want to remind you all to check your mailboxes. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you. City Attorney.
Mayor, I have a procedural question. Are you suspending or seeking to amend the rules?
You'd probably have to advise me on that. I was told I have control of the agenda and I can change the amount of public comment.
Well, you have control of the agenda, but if you're changing the rules, that's a different process.
Can you elaborate? Be a little more
Yes.
direct. Thank you.
So if you amend the rules, requires a majority vote of all counselors, and it shall be submitted in writing at a work session preceding formal action to amend. You can temporarily suspend rules that requires a majority vote of all counselors and shall be entered upon the record and has to state why a rule is being suspended. You can amend the agenda, which is the course of what's going on.
So
But
that's,
right,
sorry.
because if you're changing the time, then you're either seeking to amend the rules or you would want to suspend public comment.
which thing do you advise I do tonight to accomplish what I'm asking?
You would have to, then you would want to be suspending the public comment would require a vote, and somebody would have to specify specifically what's being suspended and the purpose as to why it's being suspended.
Okay. Then I would like to see do I need to get a motion in a second then?
Yes.
Okay, if council would be interested in suspending public comment for tonight, I'd like to get a motion in a second. The reason for that is because I don't feel like we've been having productive public comment. It's not a requirement that we have public comment, and our citizens can contact us by email or phone.
That would be adequate, Mayor.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Madam Mayor, it's now up on the board for you guys to make a motion and vote on it.
I have a motion from Councilmember Daigle, seconded by Councilmember Smith. Anybody have any discussion on that?
Yeah, how many Sheridan residents were here to speak this evening? Are you Sheridan residents? Really? I didn't, yeah, I'm asking the Sheridan residents a question. Then shut your mouth.
Do you have some comment for us instead of for the audience?
So, I don't think it's appropriate to get rid of public comments altogether. I think they
Okay.
need to have free speech.
All right, anybody else have a comment? Let's have a vote.
I have a motion on the board to amend from Councilmember Sting.
No, Jen, that'd be motion to suspend. Is that what you said?
There's a motion to amend for Councilmember
To
Sting.
suspend.
No, that's, I think she hit the wrong
Okay.
button. She's
you.
shaking her head. She hit the wrong button.
That motion is approved, 6-4, 1 against. Going to move forward to, where did we leave off here? Let's see. So anything else, City Attorney?
Nothing else, Mayor.
Thank you. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple items to bring the council up to speed on. One, we had a briefing during our can-do meeting on a number of items from South Suburban Parks and Rec District. And one of the things that was brought to our attention that the South Suburban Parks and Rec District Arts Committee is looking for a representative of Sheridan. And so if we have a council member or staff members that are interested in serving as the representative for Sheridan on the South Suburban Parks and Rec District Arts Committee, and just to give you an idea what they do, this is an appointed volunteer body that offers opinions to the elected South Suburban Parks and Rec District Board regarding art in public
Excuse me.
places. I'm
Quiet, please.
sorry, trying to conduct a meeting, sir.
Leave
Thank
without
you.
comment. Thank you.
Your actions. See you soon.
There are 7 to 9 at-large members, and what they do is beyond regarding making advisements to the Board of Directors regarding art in public places. So they also make recommendations regarding temporary art exhibits at the recreation centers. They make recommendations on the annual Art on Loan program and a few other miscellaneous things like that. I think they meet maybe 3 to 4 times a year. It's not too many times. So if you're interested, please let me know. And if we don't have an elected official, then we can look at the staff member representing us on that. The next thing to update council on is that the Sheridan Historical Society is looking to fill vacancies. So if anybody would like to serve on the Historical Society, they can contact Roger Rowland or Dallas, who's also a member on that, and they can tell you how to get involved with the Sheridan Historical Society. Finally, I've mentioned this at some of the previous meetings, that we've had some additional opioid settlements. The most recent settlements that were reached with the state of Colorado included settlements with Teva Pharmaceutical Industries, Allergen Limited, Walmart, CVS Health Corp, and Walgreens. So these are some fairly significant settlements and significant settlement monies that will be coming to our region. As council will recall, much earlier this year, I believe it was, or maybe even late last year, I can't recall exactly, we already opted out and notified the state, the council did, of receiving 20% settlement funds for our jurisdiction. What we're trying to do now is with the new settlements is that we have to sign a participation form, and the mayor can sign this on behalf of the council. Not have anything, saying, yes, we want to participate in these settlements. And basically we waive our right to do our own lawsuits against these pharmaceutical companies, which we're not going to do anyway. So as long as there is no objection from council, then the mayor can sign the participation forms. And then again, those will authorize monies to come to our region, which is Region 9. And then we've already talked about the 6 or 7 different priority projects that are moving forward as part of that. So I think, the last thing I have for council is, and I emailed this to everybody, the county is hosting a legislative luncheon. And this is for all the county commissioners, mayors and council members to sit down and meet with the legislators, our state legislators from Arapahoe County with regards to land use and housing. Lunch will be provided. It's on Friday, March 24th, 12 to 1 p.m. at First Baptist Church in Denver. If you let me know, if you're interested, I'll RSVP. So far I've heard from the mayor and me that will be participating. Again, check your email. I emailed this to you guys. So just get back to me and let me know if you want to, and I'll be sure to RSVP for you. And I think that's all I got, unless there's any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief,
Nothing to report, Madam Mayor.
it's just quiet. Huh?
Yeah, I like this. I like the silence.
All right. Okay. we'll move on to the minutes. Minutes of the regular city council meeting of February 27th, 2023. A motion from Councilmember Smith and a second by Councilmember Kelly. There we go. Please cast your votes, unless you have any comments on the minutes. Okay. Motion is approved unanimously. Next, we have the consent agenda, authorized disbursements that have been or will be made from February 16th, 2023 to February 28th, 2023 in the amount of $532,549.28 per the referenced and attached transfer of funds. I have a motion from Councilmember Stang, seconded by Councilmember Smith. Any questions on the consent agenda? Cast your votes. Motion is approved unanimously. Next, we have items for individual consideration. Ordinances on second reading, and we'll have comments from the public on the content of these ordinances prior to our consideration. First, we have ordinance number 1 of 2023, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sheridan, Colorado, amending sections 42-1 and 50-16 of the Sheridan Municipal Code regarding issuance of protective orders. I have a motion from Councilmember Daigle and seconded by Councilmember Whitaker. We have anyone from the audience who'd like to speak on ordinance number 1 regarding protective orders? Okay, anyone from council who has any comments or questions before we vote? Okay, please
We do
cast-
have one hand raised online, but I don't know if they're for this public comment. No. I do have one.
Okay,
I'm going to recognize a boring sandwich.
Boring Sandwich, you're welcome to comment on ordinance number 1. All right, let's move on.
Oh. They're on there now.
Oh. Okay, let's have a vote on ordinance number 1.
Cowards with real names.
That motion is approved unanimously. Next, we have ordinance number 2 of 2023. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sheridan, Colorado, amending Article 9, Weapons of Chapter 50 of the Sheridan Municipal Code to prohibit the possession of firearms on designated city property. I have a motion from Councilmember Smith and a second by Councilmember Whitaker. Do we have anybody in the audience tonight who wants to speak on ordinance number 2? Don't see anybody. Anybody on council? Let's have a vote on that then. That is approved unanimously. Next tonight, we have resolution number 10 of 2023, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sheridan, Colorado, approving an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Sheridan and the Colorado Department of Transportation pertaining to the South Federal Boulevard Plan, Safe Streets Through Sheridan project. Did you want to give any background on this? or
Well, I think first we need a motion, Mayor,
Oh,
and then we can
okay.
do it. Yep,
Got a motion from Councilmember Kelly and a second by Councilmember Daigle.
fantastic.
Mhm.
And thank you, council. And Ari is here this evening. You want to give him just a real quick rundown of the what we anticipate from this grant-funded study?
Good evening. Thanks for having me. So the agreement before you tonight is just for us to accept the funds that were allocated through the DRCOG Community Planning and Implementation Program. So we applied in, sorry, I lost that, in 2020 and were awarded to study Federal Boulevard. We've kind of studied Hampton and we've studied Santa Fe already. So it's kind of the last state highway to study. And It's a pretty minimal match. So this will or the study will look at land use and safe crossings is a big part of this with new development coming through, and what that would look like, and also with the development at Loretto Heights. So happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right, then.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. Which would be the idea and the plan, if any of you've been down north on. Oh. I'm sorry, I must have struck you off there. So the north of on Federal, where they have the actual crossing islands where pedestrians can cross safely to the middle of the island and then continue on over. The plan was to stop at Dartmouth. Sally, being on Dr. did not like that idea and have raised my voice multiple times at Dr. meetings to continue it and all the way to the end, which is only I think it's less than 2 miles, right? And
It's 1.5 miles.
it's
Yep.
1.5 miles to the end of Federal, and they were stopping at Dartmouth. And so I felt that that was, cheating the citizens of Sheridan out of, some safety precautions that, and then I brought up with the help of, Andrew and what have you, and even the school district, I've looked into how many people have been hit as pedestrians in that stretch of land, and there've been so many. And so we fought a good fight, and in 2020, we were able to apply for that. It has taken this long, though, and lots of complaining from Sally in order to get this far just for them to do this study. So my hope is that once the study is complete, they will see that it is a good cause and reasonable to finish the work that they've done north of Dartmouth with the crosswalks and the safety crossings and what have you, that they will continue those through Federal and bring lots of improvements to, the Federal Boulevard itself. So it's a really good thing. I'm so happy.
It is.
I'm sure they're happy with it as well. And then I can hush.
Thanks, Sally. Thanks for continuing to advocate for that.
Absolutely.
One of the citizens who was following what's going on at the Bonsai Flats development was asking, will this study whether or not it needs to be widened a little bit, whether or not entryways need to change, are the sidewalks going to move?
Yep.
Those types of things with all the extra units that were put in there.
So the extra units will certainly be taken into consideration as part of the study. As far as any changes, there will be recommendations, and they'll kind of be categorized as like early action and then mid and long range ideas. And then it will be up to the governing jurisdiction, Sheridan and CDOT, to actually implement those. So, when the survey starts, please engage and, encourage others to engage with the study so that it can all be documented and part of the plan.
Yeah, I'm also really excited about this one because,
Me too.
yeah, we've had a lot of problems, and I mean, even this weekend had a fatality. So
Yeah.
it's not,
Yeah.
certainly not getting any better without us doing anything. So
Right.
I think we definitely need to, especially make sure our pedestrians can be safe. Anybody else have comments? Okay. We can vote. Motion is approved unanimously. For my mayor's choice tonight, I'll just a little update on the last Tri-Cities Homeless Policy Group meeting. And we had a really interesting presentation from the Colorado Poverty Law Project. They provide services to people who are in the process of being evicted or who may need advice on landlord-tenant issues, who may be discriminated against in the rental process, do all sorts of different work on tenant issues. So I'm excited to try to get them into our city to give people advice, whatever they can do. So I did talk with Kathleen at the library. I think she might be willing to put on a few sessions with them. So I think that'll be a really good service for our community. And then another thing we talked about was we're going to move forward with expanding the mandate of that committee to include affordable housing and not just homelessness anymore. So that'll give us a venue to coordinate with Englewood and Littleton and see what we can do together to address the affordable housing crisis. So those were, I think, both really good things that came out of that last meeting. And that's all I have for tonight, council members.
I just want to,
Oh,
go ahead.
yeah. I did want to say, and most of them left, but I'm grateful that people can come up and use their rights to say the things that they want to say. I guess more for me is the challenge. I just want to challenge the auditors that instead of going in people's faces with cameras and bullying, put yourself in the city council. Go in there and actually do the things that you say you're doing behind the camera. Go in there and make those changes, because bullying people and saying cruel things to them doesn't really make the changes. And the people that are here are actually doing it. And we're doing our best to do it. As much as I love that people have their rights and they're doing what they're supposed to do, which we should be. The real change is you putting yourself in those situations to make those changes and not bullying people behind cameras. So that's what I want.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to everybody that came tonight and everybody who's been continuing to come. And I want to hear what you had to say. It breaks my heart that we're shutting down the comments tonight, because I think it is important. And one of the adverse reactions to this bullying people with rights, you have to accept my rights, whatever I want to do, is that the other people need to be protected against those people who can't control themselves. So municipal government steps in where the Constitution ends. I mean, the Constitution has all these powers that we all enjoy, but municipal government helps control those people who can't control themselves. And it just means so much that you keep coming and some new faces, and it just, and this is our community, and it really means a lot to me.
Anybody else want to speak tonight?
You know me. Let me say something. Nah, I ain't saying nothing about no whiskey or nothing tonight. Like I said, yeah, I love seeing all you guys up here. But it's, the main thing is not to play into it. If you go and you do research, you look at these guys, have they really won anything? Have they really sued someone and won? No. They make their money off of their podcasts and their subscriptions and their YouTube clicks. So they have to get underneath your skin to make their ratings go up. That's what they do. That's how they make money. Don't play into it. Don't pay them no mind. Don't argue with them. Don't go back and forth with them. It's a waste of time. You know what I mean? I've been doing this for not politics, but I've been in the federal government for a while. And I deal with First Amendment auditors all the time. We don't play. Just don't play into it. You know what I mean? If you're going to sue someone, you go and sue them. You don't keep showing up to their front yard, crying and whining and doing all this crazy stuff. You just go sue. You got all the evidence and all the stuff you need.
Yep.
Go make it happen. You know what I mean? They just want to come here, like I said, to get the attention, to get people riled up, to go on their podcast, and people donate them $20 here and $15 there. And that's how they make their money. It ain't about them suing someone. They're not getting paid from suing anyone. That's the bottom line. You know what I mean?
I agree, buddy.
Now, next time we're going to have some No, I'm joking.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, our meeting is adjourned then at 7:29 PM.
All right, everyone have a good night.